There we go. So paradigm shift. I want to get you to think different. I want to get you to think deeper, right? So many people struggled the last 2 years. You did, right? Some did. Some didn't, though. Some actually shifted to a different level. Some actually did more than they had ever done in their careers. I mean, there's probably several of you in this room that's done that. So the paradigm shift, there we go. And there's the term refers to a major change in worldview concept, basically changing the way you think, changing the way you do things. That's your paradigm shift. To be able to actually do that, I've got a really cool guy I want to have speak here. Getting into the zone. How many of you are Dodger fans? I can't say I'm like a Dodger fan, right? I can't say that, but I can say I'm a Freddie Freeman fan. Can you hear that? Can you turn it up? There we go. What it is, when I heard him say that, I don't know if you guys could hear it, but he's talking about getting into the zone. What does it mean to get into the zone each and every day of your career? You wake up in the morning, what are you doing to get into the zone, to get your mindset right, to get you ready to move? I have a special treat I'm going to bring up today, a mindset coach that I met at an amazing BNI group that we're part of. How many here are part of a BNI group? Yeah, we got almost half of our BNI, a quarter of our BNI group over there. So, and Jen is an amazing person. I'm going to bring her up to talk a little bit about getting into that mindset. So 33% of agents quit the first year in the business. Now that's an old stat because in the last 2 years, boy, that clicker's going to have fun today. It's pretty far away, huh? There we go. It was a big difference, wasn't it? A lot more agents quit. Why did that happen? Why did so many quit? Anyone want to answer that question? Why so many quit? Takes work. It's not digging a trench. Those are the words of Brian Eisenhower. You're not digging a trench work, but it's work. It's not easy. It's not easy to do this job. During COVID, it came easy. I'm going to skip through a few here because getting into the basics is what everyone told you needed to do. Well, I'm not going to sit here and do that because you guys have heard it too many times, getting into the basics. Get back to the basics. Get back to doing what you need to be doing, and it'll work, right? It will. It will work. But I want you to think bigger. I want you to think entrepreneurship. I want you to think like a CEO because you are the CEO of your company, by the way, and you are hired by your company to do jobs. And your job that you're doing, if some of you guys are doing everything and it's working for you, great. Once you start to want to grow that business to another level, though, and you start to get to go and do things, I'm going to talk about my life here in a second and how things kind of shifted for me and tell you a little bit about that. It's a big difference when you choose to start to leverage and you realize you're not good at everything that you think you're good at. If you leverage it off to someone else, now you're starting to run a business like a business, starting to run it like a CEO. It's the activity of setting up a business or businesses and taking on a financial risk in hope that you're going to make a profit. How many of you have done that in here? 100% of you. You all invested money in hope that you're going to make a profit. You were really hoping you would have. So it was 2009, 2010, I got my real estate license. But I want to say that I got the bug for real estate more like 1999. I was about 20 years old, bought my first house. $98,000, bought my first house. Woo! It was a brand new house, new construction in Central California. Lived in that house for 2 years. So 20 years old, bought my first house, lived in it 2 years, sold it, made a profit. Now I'm an investor. Am I an investor? Yeah. So I got that bug. That real estate agent totally impressed me. Just his job, what he did. I thought he worked for somebody and got paid a paycheck, but no, I didn't know he was an independent contractor. He's a business owner. Did a great job, took care of me. Fast forward a little bit, I bought a second home, sold that one, bought a second home. I was a farmer at the time, and I was a tree fruit farmer. I owned my first opportunity to be a CEO of a business was I had the opportunity to run a ranch, to actually run it, and then eventually take it over with a partner. We had 200 acres of stone fruit, tree fruit, peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, fluots, plum cocks, white flesh, yellow flesh. I loved it. Farming was my life. It was everything. We had these fruit. They were white flesh. If you don't know what white flesh are, it's a non-acidic fruit. It's good. You should try it, and especially if you don't like the acid. We'd ship those things overseas to Taiwan for $25 a flat. A flat would hold 4. So that was our huge export. We were making big money. We were lightening up that fruit. We were doing everything we can to make that fruit like look good, taste good, you name it. It was big bucks. And then, unfortunately, about 2003, 2004, China came into production. We lost our export overnight. So my first taste of being a CEO of a business and owning a business, 50% ownership, went upside down. We had $1 million crop loan that we would take out each year. And that year we were $100,000 off from paying off the crop loan. It was a bad year. So I loved real estate. I also loved police work. I decided to go into police work though, because back then real estate courses, you had to go to college. It was about a year-long college courses to Central California. Well, over time I ended up choosing law enforcement, became a police officer. My wife at the time was also a police officer, and then unfortunately went through the hardest time of my life, a divorce. And some of you may have felt that. It was the most difficult time. Spent a lot of time on my knees praying, giving it up to God, and I'll tell you, he brought me an angel, okay? She's sitting right over there holding that camera. Her name is Laura. So if you want to know angels, she's sitting right there. You guys can talk to a live angel anytime you want. That woman is my everything. She is my everything. Everything to me, and I could not function without that woman. She's everything. So God brought us together, and it was just amazing. 16 years we've been married now. She introduced me to, I call him Mr. Number One, was Kevin Blaine. And Kevin Blaine was the top producing agent in Central California, selling about 150 units a year with just one administrative assistant. He didn't hire a TC, guys. He ran his business like a business. He hired an administrative assistant. That admin did everything. Marketing, you name it. Just set up appointments for him. He was closing a lot of units. He also had a flip company. This was after the crash. So he was flipping about 100 units a year, selling about 25 outside of that, doing good in life. Fast forward, I had the opportunity to get my license. Kevin helped me do that. I was the first part-time agent he ever brought on his team. He gave me 40%. I was pumped. I'm learning from Mr. Number One, and I'm getting 40%. Who cares? I'm learning from him. Fast forward a little more. I ended up, being a full-time police officer and a real estate agent, selling about maybe 16 to 20 units a year. I was doing pretty good, selling to a lot of cops, right? What ended up happening was the team started growing, and I realized I was going to get left behind. So he told me if I sell 50 units in a year, he'll make me a manager. I sold 55 that year. Game on, right? Game on. I'm going to do it. He made me the manager, eventually general manager. Eventually, we grew the team to almost 60 people. We were number one in all of California out of all teams, selling about 800 units a year. And then we grew the team up to about just under 55, and we were selling 1,500 units a year. We were at a big brokerage, Keller Williams. Keller Williams that year sold 2,500 units, and we sold 1,500. So our team was the brokerage. We had a very unfortunate loss when Kevin committed suicide. So very tough situation for all of us, and we think about it all the time. My wife and I really struggle with it, and it was my wife's best friend who he introduced to me. So, sorry, didn't mean to make you guys cry. Anyone crying? I am. So, Kevin gave me so many opportunities in life. That transformed into me becoming the general manager of a KW Market Center, eventually starting my team in California, grew that up to 20, started a team here in Idaho. Now we have the Cardoza Larson Real Estate Group. Yep. From there, I have a partner in California. We started with 40 agents. In 3 years, we've grown that business up to 225 agents. We also have an in-house lending company called Homefront Mortgage. I'm 50% ownership of that. Insurance company, flip company, property management company. This is what's being like a CEO and running your business like an entrepreneurship, guys. Can I wear all the hats? No, I can't. There's a great book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I want you to read that because you're a leader in your industry, in your business. You have opportunities to build and grow who you are. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that you're just running your business like a business, or you're running it like a CEO. Are you the leader of your business? All right. I'm going to bring up Jennifer Hansen, guys. Give her a round of applause. As I bring her up, I'm going to talk about how you're the catch-all, right? You're the gatekeeper of your business, right? Every one of you guys are the gatekeeper. People come to you for everything. So if you're thinking like a CEO and you have a business-to-business relationship out there with other people, they could be paying you to be on your list. Rick Fuller has what's called Rick's Pros. People pay to be on his list on his website. He's a very productive, high-producing agent in Northern California, Rick Fuller, one of our coaches at ICC. Amazing coach. So you're the catch-all. People should not be going through Google. They should be going through you. Do they know that you do that? Are they calling you for divorce attorneys? Probably not, unless you tell them that I have a list. I'm telling you, I've got a list of 3 divorce attorneys right now. They've given me lots of referrals, and I've given them referrals. That's part